Fortuna is shaping up to be the best expansion I've ever experienced in Warframe. By the end of the year, and once all the content for this beautiful landscape gets implemented, I'm sure many of you will agree with me. But that doesn't mean Fortuna's awesomeness is without flaws. And there is one in particular that really grinds my gears. This issue is not new though, but with Fortuna it reaches unprecedented lows. Because instead of being a system built to manage the pacing of the player's journey through the Orb Palace, it becomes, in lack of a better term, gaming police. So today, let's dissect the reputation caps and why, as currently implemented, they are a hindrance to the game. I'm Deuce, and thanks in advance for watching. The problem with the reputation cap in this game has a long history. Ever since the syndicates were introduced, we've been talking about it. And every time a new piece of content that relies on such mechanics is added, that conversation takes center stage. It happened with Focus, it happened with Eidolon, and now it's happening again with Fortuna. Yet with each iteration of new content, this topic seems to have a bigger echo. Reddit, forums, content creators, and the community in general are always in the middle. But what I find curious is how more and more people that aren't precisely hardcore followers of Warframe are also starting to make their voices heard. Recently, PC Gamer's Steven Messner wrote an article precisely on this particular topic. This has two main interpretations for me. Number one, reputation caps aren't good. And number two, the game has reached a level of relevance that big gaming media outlets like PC Gamer are starting to pay more attention to what happens within the community, outside of the usual infomercial articles aimed at promoting new content or increasing awareness. But this video is about issues, not about how happy I am to see this game that I care so much about grow. So back to reputation caps. For a developer, it's only natural to pace the content they create. You worked on something for a year, and it's really hard to watch players eat all that effort in a weekend. This also factors into Warframe's money making. The more players are engaged with the game, the more willing they are to financially support it. After all, you can get pretty much everything for free, but devs need to eat. So adding mechanics aimed at pacing is a foreseeable consequence. But you see, the problem is not that reputation caps exist. The problem is how these reputation caps and pacing mechanisms are sometimes implemented. Yes, ideally, we all want a world where it is only us, the players, who dictate how much we play a certain game, but that reality isn't going to happen. Digital Extremes has been very clear. Their intent is to pace content. End of story. But in this effort, something else arises. Both Fortuna and Eidolon are not only aimed at longtime supporters, but also at new players. Yet something like the reputation cap, instead of aiding in that engagement, it discourages it. Assuming you're a Mastery Rank 5 player and you get to Fortuna, all you can do in a day is play a couple of bounties and there you go. You've reached your reputation cap. So playing anything else will feel like you're not progressing at all. With the current pacing, the game feels like those annoying parents that used to tell us how many hours a day we should play video games. Or in this case, how many hours we should play a particularly good portion of one. And that's not good. But for veterans, this is also an issue. Yes, we can earn more reputation, but in the grand scheme of things, it still feels like it's not enough. The current max limit to rep is 27,000 points, assuming you're Mastery Rank 26. But in Fortuna, you have so many interesting systems and mechanics that 27k a day just prolongs the inevitable. This is due to the nature of the cap. In Warframe, reputation is walled at a certain amount per day. After that, it doesn't matter how much you play, you can't earn more. This has the upside that not everything is subjected to this mechanic, but it so happens that the new content is. This hard cap is the easiest solution to pacing, but is also the worst for players. I am not here to advocate for cap removal, but to propose a new type of cap. First, I believe reputation shouldn't be something tied to mastery rank. Everyone, both old and new, should enjoy content at the same pace. Weapons and gear behind the MR wall? Yes, but how much can we play certain parts of the game? That's a big no. Second, hard caps are bad. Doesn't matter how you put them, they wall engagement. Again, like an annoying parent. Increasing said hard cap would only represent a short-term solution. If Fortuna is to be taken as an example, future landscapes will have more vendors and systems to engage with via reputation. So an increased hard cap will feel good right now, but not in the future. My idea is for this mechanic to coexist not only with the content we have today, but also with the future inclusions. A more reasonable pacing could be to implement a progressive or soft cap. Instead of having a set amount of points we can earn a day, make it so that after a certain point threshold, that rep gain decreases. Now, that solution alone will encourage hard grind, repeating the same over and over again until you burn out. So this soft cap needs to be based on activities. Right now, most of the things you can do in Fortuna are tied to the Solaris United rep, a global system that encompasses bounties, conservation, fishing, mining, and debt bonds, if you only account those sources from which you can gain reputation. So if you spend your day gaining rep via bounties, that leaves out the other activities you could do. But if the soft cap was tied to each activity instead of globally, that would encourage players to experience other parts of the expansion. For example, instead of having a 30,000 point global soft cap with diminishing returns after, you could have 10,000 points per activity. With Solaris United, that means a 50,000 global cap, divided between each activity currently available. It makes it so you need to play a little bit of everything, which requires more time, but since you're actually getting more rep out of each activity, you're still progressing. That way, players get more reputation, developers get more playing time out of the new content, and farmers get to grind their asses off if they choose to do so. Everyone wins. The current reputation cap is an old mechanic, designed for old systems. As the game grows and evolves, it feels more and more archaic, intrusive, and annoying. On one hand, it is awesome that my main complaint about Fortuna right now is that I can't play enough of it. But on the other, it's not good that this video game is policing just how much I can progress within certain parts of its content structure. So this issue needs a solution. Yes, devs want their work to last, to be played over long periods of time, but a hard cap on how much you can progress is simply a bad approach, since it discourages player engagement, not to mention it affects those who don't play every day. As much as Warframe moves forward, it won't really feel that way until we can too. For my part, this has been all for now. If you enjoyed the video or you found it interesting, please consider giving it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more Warframe content and follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with everything. Again, thank you very much for watching. Wherever you are, have an amazing day and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.